who is played 9 years in Indiana, and he's still upset and wants an explanation from Michael Price.
And maybe at the timing of...
That was Caitlin Clark yelling at a WNBA referee in the middle of a recent match against the Connecticut Sun. The rookie, who's usually calm and composed, finally snapped. And within seconds, her own assistant coach had to step in and physically hold her back. But it wasn't out of nowhere. This had been building all game. Her teammate took an elbow and hit the floor, but there was no whistle. Instead, the referee said she flopped. Seriously? Caitlin saw it all silently. And then, suddenly, she heard something from the referee that pushed her completely over the edge. The cameras caught everything. And just like that, this wasn't just another fever game anymore. Because even though Indiana won the game, nobody was talking about the score in the end. They were talking about the blatant mistreatment, the injury, and the very loud silence from the league after yet another night of disrespect. And honestly, if you think this all came out of nowhere, you probably haven't been paying attention to what's really going on. Let's get into it. This happened during a match against the Connecticut Sun. It was the third quarter and tensions were already high when Sun center Olivia Nelson-Ododa caught Sophie Cunningham, Indiana's 8, with a clear elbow. Sophie dropped to the floor, and everyone saw it. It was a textbook foul, but the refs? As you might already guess, he gave no call. And it didn't stop there. He went even further and ruled that Sophie had flopped, basically saying she faked the fall to draw a foul. That decision lit up the crowd and fired up the Fever bench. Moments later, the refs stopped the game to review an out-of-bounds play. And during that quiet moment when the ref was walking away, he said something. We don't know what it was, but whatever it was, Clark heard it. And her reaction said it all. She fired back immediately. To prevent it from going any further, assistant coach Brienne January stepped in and tried to calm Caitlin down. She even had to physically pull her back. But here's the interesting part. No technical foul was called. Maybe the ref knew he was clearly in the wrong. And that became even more obvious when Sophie posted this after the game, the same play the refs called a flop. And right above it, she added a short, sharp caption. They said that I flopped. And honestly, you could clearly feel the sarcasm and the frustration behind it. But she wasn't the only one speaking up. After the game, Coach Stephanie White pointed out how physical the game has become. She said, "The level of physicality overall in our league has been at a different level than it's been for a long time." Then came Dave Portnoy, who called out the league directly. Imagine not calling this, not reviewing this, and then telling Sophie she flopped. Sick league. In fact, that was the voice of every Fever fan. Just look at this post. This man tagged WNBA commissioner and said, "This is ridiculous. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert needs to resign. The official was looking right at you. Elbows to the head is an immediate foul, generally a technical foul. These officials have no business in pro ball."
Her looking at her get assaulted. Like, help me.
But for some fans, this isn't just about bad refereeing anymore. It's about what's not happening around Caitlin Clark, especially from her own bench. Let's take a close look. When Clark snapped at the referee, she was clearly at her limit. But instead of backing her up, Coach Bree January pulled her away.
Instead of being instead of actually talking to her, "Hey, Caitlin, I got this," put her to the huddle and step in for her and talk. No, this coach is just more concerned about playing along.
People say that was the moment someone needed to step in, not to calm her down, but to stand beside her, to show they had her back. But that didn't happen. What we saw was the opposite. Also, later in the game, when Clark walked off the court injured, it was only Austin Kelly who walked over to check on her. The rest of the bench stayed still. There was literally no other coach or teammate, and people are asking the obvious question, why is no one standing with her? And if you've been watching it for a while, you already know that it's not the first time. Across the league, the same thing has been happening again and again. Look at this clip.
The ball handler. There's a grab, there's a hold, there's another grab. I mean, all of those are fouls. Every single one of them. And here, that's a foul, and finally they call.
Clark gets grabbed, held, and pushed multiple times in a single possession. But there was absolutely no whistle from the refs. Even ESPN's Rebecca Lobo pointed it out during the broadcast. And you know what was more frustrating? No one from her bench, no coach, no staff took it further. They might quietly acknowledge it, but they never fully push back. That's making fans frustrated. They say Caitlin is the player who put Indiana back on the map. She took this team from the bottom and brought the world with her. She sold out games and gained international attention.
Like, this young lady has transcended this damn league to heights they never thought they'd. For the way they're treating her is despicable. It's despicable and it's disgusting at times, bro.
And guess what? It wasn't just the on-court drama that night. It also brought something else. A fresh and even worse wave of concern about Caitlin Clark's injury history. Let's take a quick look back. Earlier this year, Caitlin missed games in May with a left quad strain. Then again in June, she was out while recovering from a groin issue. While she bounced back on June 14 with a 32.8 rebound, 9-assist performance against the Liberty, the fragility never fully went away. And then came the final stretch of this game. Clark had been steady throughout, 14.7 assists, 8 boards. But in the final minute, after making a bounce pass to Kelsey Mitchell, she reached down for her right thigh and slowed her movement. It was clear something was wrong. She walked off the court, leaned her head into the stanchion, and then sat on the bench with a towel over her head. The moment was captured clearly during the live broadcast.
Looks like she's in pain after that pass.
After the game, Clark coach Stephanie White confirmed that Clark felt a little something in her groin and said she would be evaluated. She also said that it was a re-aggravation of her same groin injury that has forced her to miss games in the 2025 season. Well, that was serious, and fans heard that and immediately thought maybe she should just rest. Dave Portnoy tweeted, "Rest Caitlin till the playoffs. Kinda crazy she came back before the All-Star break. Need her 100% if this team had any chance for a real run. They are good enough to make playoffs without her." Now, here is the thing. While coach Stephanie White has mentioned that Clark felt a little something in her groin and would be evaluated, fans aren't exactly reassured by that. Because, let's be honest, this isn't the first time she's walked off the court with this exact issue. And from the way she limped, from the way she dropped her head into the stanchion, it didn't look like just a little something. So even though the official statement is cautious, many believe she's not fit right now. And this time, rest may not just be recommended, it might be necessary. And if it happens, it will put her next appearance in question. You see, the Fever faced the New York Liberty less than 24 hours later in Brooklyn as part of a back-to-back. There's almost no recovery window, and Clark is already listed as questionable for that game. But do you know what is even more concerning? She's set to captain the WNBA All-Star Game this weekend in Indianapolis. Yes, her home court. She was also expected to participate in the three-point contest, which is one of the most hyped events of the year. But now both of those moments are suddenly at risk. And let's be real, if she's ruled out, it changes everything. Not just for the fans who bought tickets just to see her, but also for the league that's built marketing around her name. Now, it's true that Caitlin's groin injury isn't being called a season-ending injury. At least, not yet. But with no official timeline, no return date, and no strong statement from the team, it's safe to say the rest of this month just got a lot more uncertain. So, here we are. Caitlin is the player who gave the league its biggest spotlight in years. She's also the one who in that same game stood up on behalf of her teammate after a clear elbow was ignored by the officials. By doing so, she risked getting a technical headline and an obvious criticism. But she still spoke out, at a time when everyone else stayed silent. And now, she's facing no calls on extreme physical contact, moments of visible disrespect, minimal response from her own bench, and eventually an injury that could keep her out of the All-Star game.
You who has been rocking with Caitlyn since Iowa, and to see her like this, I'd never in a million years would.
Just imagine, if this is how the league treats its biggest star, what message does that send to everyone else? Was this just one bad night? Or is Caitlin Clark being pushed out of her prime before it's even begun? Let us know what you think in the comments. And for more videos like this, make sure to subscribe.